voice, I keep saying it, guys, this fearless voice of Gayton McKenzie is one voice that South Africa really needs in these really trying times when the economy is burdened by many things. So we know that South Africa just lost two icons, actually. This one, Winnie Khumalo, this is where Gayton McKenzie is in this speech, really blasting radio bosses on live air, actually also low-key blasting other ANC comrades for all they've done, you know, in trying to really regulate the arts ministry in South Africa, arguing that, you know, the government in South Africa has failed artists, that artists actually deserve more. He actually complains, and he's still complaining. I remember when he complained about, you know, the guy who acted, you know, took the role of Shaka Zulu, and argued that the guy was still unpaid, or probably not paid enough to the power he was supposed to have received in that blockbuster movie that actually shook kind of like the whole world. And so he's really on the cause fighting for artists. And this Winnie Khumalo, who actually also passed away, I think she passed away at the age of 50, 51 thereabout, with a brief illness. So he's actually using that opportunity now to really blast radio producers, arguing that, you know, South Africans are actually now used to the fact that the artists are celebrated, you know, on radio when they are dead, but when they are alive, nobody cares about them and all that. And really fighting, you know, really making these bold statements, arguing that, you know, he's among those that have failed artists in South Africa, and that, you know, he's going to do everything he can to make sure that he fixes the wrongs that South Africa has done to artists in 20. Really powerful speech. Let's quickly listen to what he addresses in this funeral of Winnie Khumalo, and I'll be back for a really brief analysis on this.
Amen. We had to call in the technicians because Mayor Dada Morero was here and I'm coming now, so there's a big difference in height. They had to call in the people that will do that. Let me start by greeting His Excellency Sello Dada Morera, the family, the clergy, the people of God, the artists that are here. I saw DJ Cleo, I saw Oskido, Chico, Tembi Siete, DJ Zintle. You are welcome. I'm actually very disappointed with the Bishop of Khabula Church. He came to greet me with water. Kera, this man is a fake. Why do you greet me with water? I was expecting something stronger than water. You know, you know what is the problem with? There's two places where people lie. Two places. At the court of law and at funerals. People lie at the court, people lie at funerals. If you want to hear lies, go to court or come to a funeral. Let me explain. Many years ago, we were stealing cars. One day, the cops chase us. They shoot one of my friends dead, but we managed to get away. So his funeral was in Cape Town. So we drove all the way to Cape Town. When we got there, we were late. The funeral was already at the graveyard. But when we got to the graveyard, there were 6 funerals. So we didn't know which one of these is the funeral of our friend. The first funeral we stopped and looked at, the pastor said, he was a good man, a man of God. We said, in fact, wrong one, let's move. We went to 5 different funerals, only to realize that the real funeral was the first funeral of the good man, the man of God. But we knew that person. We knew that person is not a man of God. He's not a real person. So it gives me great pleasure as the minister to come to a funeral where everything that's being said about the person that died is not pretense. It is the truth. It is who she was, and it is what she did for her community, and what she did for the artist, and what she did for herself. So all the speakers here was very truthful. So I will also be truthful. Let me start with artists in this country. You have been failed by us, your government. I'm not pointing fingers at other people. I'm part of government. We have failed you. We have failed artists in this country as a government. Let me tell you how we failed you. How come that artists in this country can't even open an LRINS account? They don't have 3 months bank statements. Artists in this country are not being seen as workers. How can that be? That is how we failed you. So I came here for 2 reasons. I came to apologize because I'm part of the people that failed you. But I'm also going to be part of the people that bring the solution and fix what we've done wrong. So to everybody, accept my deepest and most sincerest apology, because artists are being treated like nothing. Then I want to talk 5 things that nobody wants to say, and I think it's time that we say it in this country. Number 2, this week, if you switch your radio on, because I saw 2 radio bosses here of radio stations. I'm talking to you actually, you must listen. When you switch your radio on this week, we are tired of hearing Winnie. We are tired of hearing Dr. Beleza. Why is it that you only play our artists' music when they have to die for them to be on the radio? You are busy bombarding us. Cabo Rick Ross. Who's Rick Ross? He's in Cape Town now. Ask him, Rick Ross, to appear on your radio station. He will never. He doesn't have time. But you have time for them. The time has come when we stop talking at funerals and you get the right people to represent artists. The problem with artists, they sometimes think they have to be represented by artists. How sukula or represent ke motho wa sukulang? Artists die. They are represented by SIFSA. Why can't SIFSA pay for the funeral of artists? They're getting millions, millions and millions and millions. They steal from artists. SIFSA is a criminal organization that I have the bank statements of how many millions they got, but the artists are still poor. Why did you get all these millions? This time you have a minister. If you say I'm lying, watch my Twitter tomorrow. I will bring out the bank statements of how much you were paid from doing all these years. You said the government did nothing for you. I am not these comrades that are getting accused for nothing. You got millions, millions and millions and millions. Where's that money? What have you done with that money? During COVID, you said the government did nothing for you. I brought out a list. People were calling me, Minister, I never got a cent, but we paid the money. I am making a call to artists. Stop being represented by every Tom, Dick and Jabulani. Know your business. Understand your business.
Yeah, guys. So, one thing I think about Gayton McKenzie when I really see how passionate he is, with this post in Sports Ministry, Arts and Culture, is that he reminds me of those of you who are Christians. That scripture that says that whatever your hands finds to do, do with it all your might. You see, he's putting all of that energy, all the plans he has in place for South Africa. If everything goes according to how he's planned, honestly, South Africa will be on another level by the end of this year. I'm doing some videos where he actually had a report with Robert Marawa on, I don't know, I think that's radio station. I think I've done a video on that radio station. But he actually outlines his visions. He has a vision for the Sports, Arts and Culture Ministry. And many times I really wonder how the country will function if this energy is brought up to the national level. Because, most of the ANC ministers, when I listen to them, there's something about the energy I really don't you connect with, even though I'm not as it were South African. But there's something about an energetic, passionate leader that when you listen to, you really get the vibe and really want to move. You see, I was listening to this guy Park Stow. I think the World Economic Forum had a conference 2 days ago or yesterday or something like that, and he's actually trying to sell South Africa as this space that is open for investments and all of that, and trying to woo investors to come to invest in South Africa. But with the current battle now with ArcelorMittal and all the deindustrialization going on in South Africa, many times I really wonder what kind of leadership, so to speak, would be able to really attract investors and really feel that confidence in South Africa to really invest in the South African economy. And this guy Gayton McKenzie is one of those people. I usually speak about him a lot because I know many times many of you blame him that he's against illegal foreigners in South Africa and all that. I actually would agree that, I would actually support your claim that, he might be xenophobic and all of that. But, I see in him a fire that South Africa really needs at this moment to stand. The speeches he gives, the energy he brings to the fore, this is where South Africa really needs at the moment. When I read your comments on this channel, I can see how dejected and hopeless many people in South Africa really sound. Many people feel that, there's no hope. People feel hopeless in South Africa. And as a result of the kind of energy, the kind of leadership they're really seeing in the country going forward. But the more I listen to this guy Gayton McKenzie, the more I really feel, even me who is an outsider, I really feel an energy, a passion for South Africa. Because you see, South Africa still tops the chart. I know South Africa tops the chart in unemployment in Africa, but South Africa still tops the chart in terms of GDP, the production, the gross domestic product, and the gross national product. The amount of, produce coming out of that nation, South Africa, and it still tops and leads the whole of Africa. And so when South Africa sneezes, all of Africa listens. And so there's a need for a leader that really understands that energy that is incubated in the land and really bring that to the fore, so that in these times, more light from South Africa can be shown to what seems to be a really dark and seemingly hopeless southern region of Africa, where people do not see. We see Mozambique burning. We see, Zambia having its own challenges, although Hichilema is doing quite a good job in Zambia because he understands how markets work and all that. But with a lot of challenges as well. We see Zimbabwe. No, you don't even just go there, because I really don't understand yet. I'll be doing more research to really understand the deep-rooted issues and problems that Zimbabwe is actually facing. But these former frontline states are, for me, in a way, really not showing so much light, so to speak. And so at the end of the day, we see a lot of influx coming into South Africa. And South Africa now needs that decisive leadership, that light to help show the world that, we incubate this much industrial, creative energy. And that energy I actually see, in the passion of Gayton McKenzie and how he really addresses himself. And hopefully, I don't know, I really hope that you guys, because now I see your comments a lot, you guys speak about how probably you'll be changing the way you vote in 2029 and all that. I really hope some of that energy can be channeled probably to the Patriotic Alliance. I don't know, really. Everybody actually comes to the fore with a kind of like a veil or a mask, or you never know people's real intentions. But if this energy that Gayton McKenzie brings out in trying to really address the things that people do not wish to speak about in South Africa, many things, he's bold enough and fearless, to address them. He doesn't really, I think that he's not really afraid of probably which comrade or that comrade would actually come for him and all of that. He's really bold and fearless. And I think that fearlessness is where South Africa really needs now to really have a positive vision, a person who actually understands how things work, how a country works, and actually help the people in South Africa start believing in themselves once more. Because truly, I really believe that from the few experiences I've had with most of you South Africans in these comments, I really feel that South Africans have slowly started losing belief in themselves. And this is as a result of the leadership in the land. But anyway, I don't want this video to be too long. What do you think about Gayton McKenzie's speech here on the role of artists and how, South Africa's government has to do better for artists in South Africa? Share your thoughts in the comments.